All right, blue-red flash. For those not newer to Magic or not familiar with what flash refers to, flash is a mechanic on creature cards that allow you to play these creatures at instant speed. So this is a deck where, outside of Bonecrusher Giant being cast as the creature part of the spell, everything in this deck can be played at instant speed in the main deck. So this deck involves a lot of drawing, playing your land for the turn, and then just passing. As far as cards out of Theros goes, I've added Thrin, the Sudden Storm, Thryx here, the Sudden Storm, just a 4/5 flying flash for 5 that's legendary. Not really looking to leverage its second line of text there, but it does technically impact Thassa's Intervention, the other Theros card we're playing, as well as Embercleave here, but mostly just playing this as a decent body that flashes in and is evasive. So let's go ahead and hop on into some ladder matches here with this and see how it goes. We haven't played this archetype since Theros came out. Interested to see how it feels. I think we keep this. I think I'm going to bottom this. Keep the removal spell, the counter spell, and the threat. Where's our boy Gadwick? It's possible that Gadwick is reasonable again. When I cut Gadwick from this configuration, there were more counter spells in the format. And Thryx actually, in a way, helps Gadwick resolve, right? I don't know that there's many mid-range or control decks where Gadwick's effects really shines in this format, though. Getting rewarded for keeping the Scorching Dragonfire here. This exiles the thing it kills, which is nice. Meow. Pass back here. Hold up Ionize / negate this turn. Easy, no blocks here. Go to 14. They don't give us something to counterspell here. We'll probably end step Scorching Dragonfire, the Cauldron Familiar. That's the one that can come back and block our things over and over again. I mean, if they don't give us something to Ionize, I might as well use my mana this turn. But if they didn't give me something to Ionize, I would definitely Scorching Dragonfire. There's no point in holding to be conservative with to be more resource efficient later if you're like wasting mana on one turn. Like being inefficient early to be efficient later doesn't really make sense. They did play a 3-drop here though for us, which is great. Yep. I think the plan here is to Dragonfire, the Devil, and then Brazen Borrower bounce something else here. Or perhaps they could have an oven in their hand that they're going to deploy, which we'll get to negate. Would be fine. Hopefully they cast an oven here, so we get to just, like, use our negate. Negate's definitely a card that boards out in this matchup, even though it has some target, tends to not be amazing. I think I'm actually going to go ahead, and since they fetched a non-black source, I'm just going to go ahead and Borrower this now. And then if they give me something to negate, I can always Scorching Dragonfire this next turn. Is there a chance for Young Pyromancer to be printed as standard again? Yeah, I'd assume so. I think Young Pyromancer is also a pretty iconic and fun card that a lot of people like. So I would bet that there's a good chance that Young Pyromancer sees printing as a direct to historic card as well. Oh yeah, that's a good call. I should hold the land there because of Kroxa. Is a good observation. So they're going to chump block with their cat here. If they have another claim, we could actually die here since we flooded out a little bit. Dead, feel dead. Yeah, they get to eat this and start bouncing the cat around. Yikes. I think I cut the spyglasses from my sideboard too. Yeah, cat has not been a popular deck recently. So I trimmed those. Maybe that's wrong. Could be wrong. They were gonna turn Brineborn into fish sticks. Poor little Brineborn. You saw the 11 months, man. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think Pyrohelix is just very good against the red matchup. So I've got a couple in my side. I got one in my sideboard. It's like a cheeky instant speed fork bolt. Hey, a great place to talk about working on and building decks there, said Where. If you're not in the subscriber Discord server, I'd encourage you to pop on in there. A lot of great people always working on a lot of different things. Can you, rather than using corporate Magic speak buzzwords, Dallas, can you explain what you mean by inconsistent? Like what's inconsistent about my 2-color deck that has threats that also double as interaction? Can you go into a little bit more detail for me? I'm confused as to what you think is different about right now versus like last set when these decks were everywhere and playable. Again, when focusing on being descriptive, using the details is key. It's my favorite blue-red deck. We haven't played this deck in a hot second, so it'd be tough to say it's my favorite anything without playing some games with it. I think Jeskai Fire is a very reasonable deck that has blue and red in it. I think I might just have Brazen Borrower eat one of their pies here at end of turn. Yeah, and this deck's super reasonable and historic as well. We've got a historic build of it up on the website also. The presence of Teferi and blue-white control's different? No, not really. Because, like, this deck was competing with Jeskai Fires last season. Play draw disparity seems really high. In my experience, I disagree with that. I think in the blue-green flash deck, play draw discrepancy is really high. But I think in the actual appeal to this build here is you're giving up some of the top-end power that cards like... You're giving up some of the top-end power that cards like Nissa and Hydroid Graces offer in exchange for having more play on the draw because of your removal. T-Laugh, thanks for the brand new sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hovelandia. Disposable Hero, thanks for checking in for the 5th month. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. So the reason why I ate their pie in response to the cat there is because if I let the cat resolve, they could sack it to the oven and then eat the food I'm trying to bounce in response to me bouncing it, which would then make my Brazen Borrower go to the discard pile because the adventure wouldn't resolve. So remember, your cards only go on their adventure if the instant or sorcery spell fully resolves. I mean, you could just say the play draw is pretty important in best of one. I don't think you need the asterisk there with this deck. Magic in general is incredibly play draw dependent, and best of one amplifies that a little bit if you're looking at a small subset of games. Thanks for the 32 months playthrough, and I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Don't know about you, but I've been here for 32. Ugh. Why not bounce the oven and hope to draw a counterspell? Because what you just said there, it's just a hope, whereas getting rid of a food is a guarantee. I personally do not enjoy best of one either. I think there's almost certainly an argument that, like, when your sample size gets really large, like, the variance that best of one introduces mostly gets leveled out because you're playing a high volume of games, but I also, like, don't want to play that volume of games. I think from an emotional perspective, it feels worth. I think we're probably just dead here. Witch's Oven is really good against our deck, too. Just makes all adventure creatures worse. Why not bounce the oven to disincentivize them from blocking? Because it doesn't disincentivize them from blocking. In fact, bouncing the oven's, like, strictly worse, because, like, they'll just block and then eat the food that you didn't take with the Brazen Borrower. So it's, like, fundamentally, like, when you go through the actual play patterns, Eternal Witness, of what's happening in both those situations, you'll realize they're identical. They just, like, have to spend a mana. Someone said, well, Quench decks are worse on the draw. Yeah, if you'll notice, I board out Quench when we're on the draw quite frequently, because you're right. Quench is a worse spell on the draw. But again, cards that are worse on the draw than they are on the play is not unique to this format. I don't really want to play against Cat. I'm going to concede and try and find a different matchup. You know, we don't get to play a ton of matches. I don't care about my ladder position. I would like to try and find some variety in my gameplay, rather than sit here and play against the same thing over and over again. Erwin NCL, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Peak magic laddering, by the way, though, is making a conscious decision. Hey, Cat decks haven't popped up as much. I'm going to change my 75 to reflect that, and then running into Cat twice. Definitely peak magic laddering. More in Weemy game. Sweet. So, could be adventures, could also be reclamation, could be elementals. Okay. Sweet. Don't hit a land. Don't hit a land. Don't hit a land. Swish. Queue up with cats when I'm queuing if you want a free match win. Boost you right on up. I'd always discourage you from things that are confirmation bias based. So saying things like cat is super popular right now is super confirmation biased. Your anecdotal data is not representative of everything that's going on. Because again, the reason why I changed this deck was because in my small sampling of anecdotal data, I haven't played against the cat decks very much. It's very easy to pigeonhole when like 4 out of 8 is a lot, but again, 8 in itself is not a lot, and that matters. Sucks that we don't have a second blue here. We can't deploy these borrowers and get ahead while they're stumbling. Have a little bit of pressure at least. Yeah, I'm actually gonna let this resolve and just bounce it, I think. Oh, I'm so dumb it has haste. Well, you know, mistakes are made. Have to discard the hand size. Alright, at least they only... Oh wait, do they not? They were just paused at their end step? Weird. I also like peak Magic Twitch chat is talking about how like someone's one small sample size isn't relevant, and then someone else throws their hand up and like, but wait, Jeff, I have a small sample size too. What if we add our small sample sizes together? They're still small. Stop it. Stop it. Bad Twitch chat. Oh, they did discard Growth Spiral, you're right. I missed it. Might want to save the borrowers for Thassa. Why? But if we just like keep the board clear, does it matter? Well... You're making my small sample size feel bad about itself, as you should. Do you want to deal 2 and draw a card to take 5 on the backswing? They might want to chump block here. This deck plays 26 lands, right? I can only assume based on our inability to draw lands that we play 26. Yes, definitely 26 lands, definitely kept a 3 land opener. Oh, I'm dumb. I just missed deterministic, right? Okay, that's fine. I should have let that resolve, because if that resolved, they can only cast 1 more spell, and then I just Ionize that spell and then kill this. So should have let fires resolve there. Didn't matter, no justice stream, but should have let fires resolve. All right, dispute sounds great, gust sounds great, stroke might be okay. Shock seems kind. I guess shock kills Risen Reef. I'm not quite sure how to board against what they're playing, because like, what mix of counterspells do I want, and what mix of killing things that they're going to play to the board do I want? I probably don't want Quench. 5 soft counters is probably a little bit too many. I'm pretty sure Past Jeff made a Hyper Geo video. Flash Jeff did make a Hypergeo video, and I would like to apologize in advance to anybody who's been watching my content only recently who clicks into that video and is very confused. It's a different experience compared to the Hoaglandia you're used to today. How old is that video? It's a couple of years at least, right? October 2016. Good golly, October 2016. It was a different timeline, chat. It was a different timeline. That is the hex border. It's a long time ago. Old Jeff doesn't sound like new Jeff, yeah. That's a 2-3, huh? I guess I'm double shocking that. Is that what Libertarian Jeff sounds like? October 2016 Jeff wasn't nearly as jaded as March 2020 Jeff. Yeah, I probably want to leave Dragonfire in over Shock Game 3 because of that card. It's a good call. I think I let this resolve and just stomp it. I don't know. The odds of like keeping their graveyard fully clear for the stupid haste dude, like I think people are worrying too much about Thunderkin Awakener. The more likely reality is that like you just like kill the Thunderkin Awakener rather than trying to exile all their targets for it. Really? Seems like a weird one to board in against me. I mean, the reality of the situation is, not to like stress people out, but the reality of COVID-19 is that there are going to be reported cases of it across the entirety of the United States before particularly long. Especially if they manage to develop a means of testing it that doesn't cost $3,000 for people. I should have done this before they drew their cards so they could draw a counterspell. So this got to draw a card, but we ate it inside of combat. Got to draw 2 cards. It's pretty good. that you're particularly worried about the disease, you shouldn't spend time stressing out about it. You can and should make an effort to wash your hands more. You can and should be conscious of your surroundings, the things you're touching, and try not to touch your face. But like worrying about, are you gonna die from this thing? Like, can't, like, be prepared, not panicked is the exact, that is the correct way to approach it.
Let's make this quick. I've got other things to burn.
Yep.
I've got a burning desire to finish you.
I also wonder what percentage of people who are overly stressed out or overly worried about COVID-19 also fail to get a flu shot every season. And like, I know that this is technically more deadly than the flu, they believe, but like, same purpose, the flu is also like something you should think about and get vaccinated for season after season. Vomit.
Let's start at a sizzle and see if you make it to the Inferno.
From everything that I've seen and read, the mortality rate of COVID-19 is expected to be higher than the flu. Well, those are not so useful at this point, huh? Yeah, 2 to 3% for COVID-19 is what I've been seeing. Let's do this before it doesn't work anymore. I mean, drawing a single Embercleave is good. If we find a threat, Embercleave lets us race Chandra Emblem very nicely.
Hope it's not too hot for you.
Yes, 2 to 3% is pretty high. Correct. But again, worrying about it constantly isn't something that you can really, like, change the circumstances. Yeah, underreporting is likely very likely as well, just in large part due to the fact that getting testing is so expensive in the United States.
No pressure.
Might be too little too late. We're gonna get our third emblem this turn. And then, not to really, especially, I mean, you're probably aware you should be politically active if you're in this chat. But you know, just a reminder that our country is worse off than it would be under a sane, stable presidential leadership, one who surrounded themselves with people who understand and believe in science, as opposed to men like Mike Pence, who reject science, in turn had epidemics happen under their watch while they were governor. So, remember that come November, that who is in the White House does impact real things that are going to impact your lives. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. I don't know that I want Chandra of my own. They have a lot of elemental creatures. Oh, we talked about Dragonfire. Yeah. It's pretty minimal. Shock is going to be more resource efficient in a lot of situations, too. Except against, like, exactly their 2-3. Shock is fine. Shock is also randomly reach and could kill them while we're on the play. The main people who are going to suffer are the ones who voted to deregulate and privatize things that would help us most, the old people. You know, I was thinking something similar to that, but I didn't want to say it out loud. But yeah, it's pretty true. Yikes. Feels bad, man. Imagine if that was a deal 3, chat. Imagine if that was a deal 3. Pepperidge Farm members. Mistakes were made. It's been a rough set. Cats into things that are uncounterable. It's not been a good scene for our hero, chat. Into protection from red things. I mean, there's a lot of poor old people who vote against their best interests. I've regularly told family members that they don't make enough money to vote Republican, but they just scoff at me. They don't like the truth. Racism is a strong interest. It really is. Yeah. Tell me I can't counter this. Huh? Get out of here. Get out of here. Can't be countered, Abe. Gust the creature counter fires. I mean, I could double shock. I'm going to double shock the creature here. Like, if they want to recast fires next turn, it's, like, not a big deal. I get a chance to stroke it then. How do you always seem to be playing against non-blue-green Nissa or Trawler? I feel like that's all I play. It's funny, too. It's glad to have someone else's sample size in there. Because, like, people earlier were talking about how the ladder's been all cats for them. There's a lot of things in this format. I feel you, Dodgy. Thanks for the third of a year. Hopefully we're not far off of no one else ever having to experience what you just said there. You ran into actual factual gates last night. That's great. I think I'm just holding on to Bonecrushers for now. Because if they attack again next turn, I can flash in the Sudden Storm and block. Man, I really hate Warren dropping is revealing a lot of fake progressives. I just want all you people out there to know, if you're like, I could never vote for Bernie, etc., like, it's super hypocritical. Like, if you actually believe in progressive values, you'd set aside your distaste for Bernie personally and like vote for the candidate that's going to represent progressive values. Let's see if they kill the sudden storm here or not.
Get ready to meet my flames.
If they do, I get to finish her with Bonecrusher Giant at least. We've got that going for us.
It's the best way to destroy things.
It's not a terrible draw. What if Bernie gives me high school bully vibes? I guess I'm probably just empathetic to Bernie because I feel like a lot of people who dislike Bernie for a lot of the same reasons I've caught flack over the years. He doesn't sugarcoat what he says. He's very blunt. He's to the point. He says what he feels needs to be said and doesn't dance around it. And honestly, I find that refreshing in a lot of ways, especially with regards to politics. In my opinion, there's not enough of that in politics. If more of them were just straightforward and said what they said, like Pete Buttigieg, for example, that man was really good at speaking for a long time and not actually saying anything of substance. So the way protection and Embercleave work is, if I put Embercleave on this and they block with Cerulean Drake, each strike would be required to deal 1 damage to this. You have to assign what would be lethal damage to the thing that's blocking you. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana anyways. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and just play this and not hold up dispute. Yes, indestructible and protection are treated differently. When a creature is indestructible and you double strike over it, you only have to assign damage equal to its toughness once. Protection is different because indestructible creatures get damage marked on them, whereas non-indestructible or protection creatures have the damage straight up prevented. Punish for not holding up dispute. Ionize is a pretty good pickup, especially considering they're at 8 and we're currently attacking for 3. Hoping to dodge like another Chandra here. That's unfortunate. I have to just let that happen though. I have to save my counterspell for an actual threat, even though this draws a card. Hoarding my shilling hurts the Hoaglandia economy. Let's put this towards Titan and Historic. Sounds good, Charles. Well, that one's got to go. Juggalos, I think the people who are saying... the position I've seen a lot of people take that I disagree with very much is something similar to what you're saying, which is that someone like Bernie gives Trump more ammo in the general. And I think that's just FUD. I think people are incredibly naive and foolish if they think Trump's not going to go hard after whoever runs against him. It doesn't matter if it's Biden or Bernie running against him. We live in a post-fact world. He's gonna make stuff up and he's gonna lie, and it doesn't matter what the truth is for him and his base. One thing I'd like to point out here really quick, because I think I messed it up earlier. I think I attacked earlier and they blocked and I stomped post-combat. If I would have stomped pre-combat, this would have died. And we're dead. I think we're dead, right? That assumes equal turnout for a Biden and Bernie nominee. In some of the exit polls that they ran on Super Tuesday, 84% of people said they were voting Dem regardless. And again, I would discourage you from spreading FUD that you think Bernie can't generate turnout like Biden does. There's no basis for that other than fear. If I block here, I take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're not dead this turn, so that's nice. We need to draw a cleave next turn, basically. Brazen Borrower would also do it. Brazen Borrower gets this out of the way. Biden had a good turnout in states where he was expected to have good turnouts. And again, you're assuming that that turnout is only there for Biden and wouldn't just happen in the general. You're assuming that those, and again, with the reference I just said, 84% of those people in that turnout said that they were going to vote Dem regardless. And some portion of people are not going to vote Dem if Biden's the nominee, and some portion aren't going to vote Dem if Bernie's the nominee. That happens and cuts both ways. Wow, is that lethal? That's lethal because they attacked the Leafkin too, right? Sick. I think this was a little too aggressive. Yes, and the states Biden generated large turnout in largely won't be Democrat in the general election. Oh, they have Destiny Spinner. Really close. If I tried to eat the 2-3, they would pump and kill me. Yeah, close game. Yes. Yeah, people saying that Biden's going to generate turnout to flip those deep red states blue. I think that's not based in reality. That's not based in reality. That's just FUD, Brussela. It's just fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I said most of and many, not all of them. Again, listen to the words that fall out of my mouth. I try to choose my words very carefully. I agree with that as a non-outsider, Silence. Biden is just this election's Hillary. That is completely why he's doing well. He's running on name recognition. Yeah, it could very well be good enough to win. I also think there's a lot of people that just didn't vote in 2016 because they were upset that Bernie got the shtick and they didn't realize how bad Trump was going to be. I agree with that. I think the narrative that the DNC is working to screw Bernie is kind of nonsense. I think a lot of that is kind of deep state, conspiracy theory type nonsense that's unhealthy to perpetrate. Yeah, I agree with that, Rook. It's like a what's it called? Ben Stark tweeted it best. The Trump Biden Bernie setup is like a 1-4-9 setup. Like Trump's a 1, Biden being a 4 is better than a 1, but like Bernie being a 9 is much better than the other two. Bluff a counterspell here at least. Bernie's a 10. All right, fair. Water spells, baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. I mean, Growth Spiral versus 2 lands is like kind of a wash anyways. See if we can close out in the air here or not before they get their full engine going on the other side. Only have 4 cards they've been right now, including this. Joke's on you, opponent. We're not going to have thoughts to erase. Hey, do you know the thing? Thanks for the 3 months, Lieutenant Bird. I appreciate you keeping me around. Woof. Why? Did they really just not mill themselves in their deck with Uro in it? Did that just happen? All right. Thanks for the 10 months, 7 crosses. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't think Bernie winning is any more of a long shot than Biden taking it back. Like all of the votes aren't cast. Like don't let the concentration. When Bernie is doing really well, the media downplays him doing well, and when he's doing poor and when he's slightly behind, they act like it's the end of the line for him. You need to understand that like not him is what they want. As far as this goes, I think I'm gonna take this one down off the site. I don't know. That just felt like really underwhelming overall. One of the key differences between the format now and the last time when this deck was more popular before Theros released is there was more fires running around when this deck was reasonable last time, and this deck really is good against decks trying to resolve key cards with all of its counter magic based disruption, but in a format that's a little bit wider, I feel like that even with some Embercleaves, I don't quite have the closing power I need to randomly kill people when my interaction isn't good enough. What are we doing? I'm gonna hit a quick ad roll while we get things set up and flipped over for the next one. Hopefully this next one goes good. I believe this is originally a Saffron Olive meme. We've got Need Deer, Kraken, Smothering Tithe, and Emergency Powers at the top end of our curve. So we'll be back in just a few. When we get back, we're hopefully gonna slam some sweet games with some Kraken Power Smothering Tide. Back in just a few.